Hello again and welcome to another video from the Marketing Study Guide. In this video we're going to have a look at the criteria for effective segmentation. We find this in most marketing textbooks, and it happens after we segment a market. What's the criteria that we need to look at? My name is Jeff and I'm a long-term marketing lecturer and practitioner. Just to start with the overview of the segmentation process very quickly, we start with a group of consumers, the overall market. We then put them into related sets of consumers. We call them segments, and they're going to have something in common between them that is relevant for our marketing activities and our business. We then choose between these the best one to be our target market, and then we build our positioning and our marketing mix and our strategy for the needs of that target market, and with the ultimate goal of improving business success. So at this point of time here, very early on in this overall process, once we've put these consumers into groups, these segments, we then need to work out how well we have done that. And we usually use a set criteria. Now keep in mind, it's not really explained in most marketing textbooks, but we will have multiple attempts at segmentation. We will use different segmentation approaches, different bases, and construct different segments differently over the course of the activity or the process that we're using. And we may have to do this multiple times, work through the criteria. So let's have a look at it. Now, depending on what textbook you will use, the terminology is slightly different, but I've put these up and I'm just going to work through them row by row to make sense of them. So let's have a look. This is the top row: identifiable, homogeneous, heterogeneous, measurable. So this means identifiable. This means that we can clearly see the difference between segments. So if a customer comes in or a consumer comes in and tells us something about the customer, age group, buying preference, lifestyle, whatever information we've used, we go, oh, that customer clearly goes into segment 3. Oh, this customer, this consumer, they fit into the first segment. So it's very, very clear where a customer or consumer would fit. So that's going to be obviously critical. This means homo means home, which means that people within the group have similar needs, characteristics, shopping behaviors, etc., that are relevant to us as marketers. So we're going to use different segmentation bases, demographics or psychographic variables or something like that. I have a separate video that covers all that. But the ones in each segment need to be similar within themselves. They're never going to be identical. We're never going to have two customers or consumers that have exact same needs. And the way to look at that is you go down to your local supermarket, and you can spend weeks there or months, I don't care how long it takes, and I want you to mark down how many people, when they get to the checkout, have the exact same items in their basket or their trolley. It just doesn't happen. They will have similar needs, but not identical. So these need to be similar. Hetero, meaning different. What that means is this group is different to that group, is different to that group. So there shouldn't be, sure, there's going to be some overlaps at times, but predominantly they will be different. Okay, it's different behaviors, different needs, etc. So it's same within, different between groups. And then finally, we want each segment to be measurable. We want to know how big they are, their purchasing power, how much profits they may be able to generate, because that's something we need to be able to use in our marketing. There's no point going, well, that's our segment, how big are they? Don't know. That's not very helpful. So these are very descriptive type indicators, the first row. Here's the second row. They're more marketing, financial aspects, so have a look. Substantial. Each segment's got to be a decent size for us to pursue. Now keep in mind, we'll only get a market share of that segment. So we're not going to get the whole segment. That's unlikely unless we're a niche marketer somehow and we're targeting small segments. Generally, we're only getting a very small piece of any target market we go after. So it's got to be large enough for us to go, oh, gee, that's so many customers, so much buying power. If we got 3% share of that segment, that's going to be good for us, or whatever our percentage is going to be. So it's got to be substantial enough for us to invest resources and put money behind and develop products for, etc. Accessible. We've got to be able to reach them. And how do we reach them? We reach them through retailers, through online in terms of the product. We also have to reach them through marketing communications and information, etc. So if we have a generally defined segment that's a little bit vague in terms of, they've got this particular lifestyle, and they enjoy doing this and they enjoy doing that, and we may paint a very rich picture of a segment based on lifestyles or something, but where do they shop on average? What websites do they go to? What media should we use to reach them, etc. So can we connect to them through place and promotion? So we've got to make, is it workable? Okay, actionable. That means internally. Yep, that's a segment, that's their needs. Can we construct a marketing mix that actually meets their needs? Do we have the capacity to develop the type of products that they have? Or do we have the capacity to price them in a certain way, or whatever the marketing mix needs are? Can we pull it off? Okay, so can we, behind the scenes, in all our resources and capabilities, is that something that we can actually put into action and make real? Again, if we may have segments that roll out on those bases, but provided we have some segments left that we get actionable, not actionable, obviously we'd rule them out rather than necessarily redoing the segmentation. Not every segment has to be actionable because we're only selecting certain target markets, but we'll need several that gives us an opportunity to choose the best one. And this one here is responsive. Will these consumers respond differently if we put a unique product to them, a unique marketing mix? Or are they just going to behave the same way? Now, if we have defined them to be quite distinct in terms of their needs, they should be responsive to different marketing mix offerings. But if they're somewhat similar, they potentially the same segment, they won't respond differently. So, for example, this might be a price-sensitive group, and this is a happy to pay more for premium products. Therefore, if we put a premium product to these people, they won't respond to that. But if we put a discount product, they will buy lots of it, and vice versa. But if that's not happening, they respond the same way to a discount product and a premium product. Well, hang on, we've misunderstood something, and they're not responding to the marketing mix, and we've misunderstood their needs, etc. And then finally, this is more of a working with strategic type row here. Are these segments informative? So do they help us understand the market? When we profile these segments and get a lot of their needs and paint pictures of them and build brand personas, is that really helpful information in marketing? And often what you'll see inside a company, if the company's sitting around a table, the marketers at least, and going, this target market, our brand persona this is a great product for that person. I don't know whether this is the right strategy or right combination for this target market or for our target customer. If we're talking like that, those segments are quite informative. If we're going, I think the market would like, that means that we really haven't got any value out of those segments and target markets. We're actually not even thinking target markets. We're still guessing at what the market wants. Are they logical? Do they make sense for us? We not only have to communicate it in marketing, but we have to go up to management and ask for money and go, our target market is this, and we've defined it this way. And we have to go off to our sales people and our back office people and say, this is our target market. We've got 3 target markets. This 1, 2, and 3. This is what's different about them. This is what their needs. We need to be able to communicate that. And that's got to make sense to somebody who isn't a marketer, who's just works in a different part of the business and goes, yeah, okay, got it. Yep, got it. Tick, tick, tick. And then finally, does it work with our strategy? Every company will have growth plans. They'll have ambitions. They want to build a business. They want to create a vision, 5, 10 years down the track. They have a mission, why we exist. Do the target markets fit within the overall strategy? It's no point marketing going one direction when the CEO and the senior management are heading here and you go, hey, I got the segmentation idea, let's do this. It isn't going to work too well. So that's all the steps. And the goal here is it happens here, as I mentioned, between here and before we select our target markets. It gives us the confidence to say these are really valuable segments. These are really going to help us. 1, 2, or 3 of these, whatever target markets, is the way to go. I'm really happy with the approach we're doing. Tick, 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 all those boxes, and away we go and move into strategy and development. Okay, hopefully it was helpful. Please check out my other videos on YouTube and please subscribe.